So next, I love to talk about your elevator speech. So what you need to think about, and you need then, once you come up with your elevator speech, you need to practice it. The reason for having an elevator speech is that you come across somebody in public. So whether you're at the park with your children, or you're at a family gathering, a party, at church, whatever, and somebody has an issue. Let's say someone has a headache, and you say, I have this homeopathic remedy that will likely help your headache. Would you like some? Well, then they say, well, what is homeopathy? Well, you want to, okay, so we want to educate people about homeopathy. We want them to come and want to know more and want to start using it. So you don't want to stand there and be like, I don't know. It's these white pills I take. I don't know. Well, then they don't even want to take it, right? So you have to know what you're going to say. What are you going to say? And I remember the first time somebody asked me, what is homeopathy? And I couldn't, and well, also the person that was asking me didn't really care to know. They were trying to put me down. So I felt that, right? I have a great deal of discernment, and I felt that they were really just trying to make me feel stupid. But I couldn't answer them, and I felt stupid. So I want you to think about, what are the components of an elevator speech? What needs to go into this speech so that you're ready? And I call it an elevator speech because it's like you have 2 minutes. We're not going to overwhelm them with information, and we're not going to give them too much, but we need to hit the highlights and the keys that they need to know. So what are those things that most people want to know?
I mean, I know one of the things, I try to explain, and I'm still new at explaining this because I'm still learning so much. But I know one of the things I've had success at is kind of explaining it's not like allopathic medicine, which just sort of addresses symptoms and never really deals with the underlying issue. It's going to go to the root cause of the issue and like awaken your body to do what it's supposed to be doing all along. So I know that's something that's piqued people's interest because they want to be healed. They don't want to keep suffering and keep taking stuff. So I'm still a beginner.
Yep, good. That's good. That's right. So the word root cause is really popular. So if you throw the word root cause in there, people perk up because they want to get to the root. They want to actually fix the thing. Yeah, that's good. What else?
I usually use the coin like cures like when I'm explaining it to people. I just told my husband I was going to brag on him because he was telling someone the other day. I don't even remember who we were talking to, but we were in our house and I was talking about remedies, and they asked like, "Well, what do you mean remedies?" And then Chase, my husband, just jumped right in. He was like, "It's like cures like." And then I usually go into Allium Cepa, and I'll tell people about like everybody understands hay fever symptoms. You know, you get watery eyes, runny nose, sneezing, burning eyes, you know, all those things. Like, and when you cut a red onion, that's what happens to you. And that's what Allium Cepa is a red onion. So you take that remedy when you're having those symptoms and you feel better.
I love it.
And so that's usually my like example because that's really easy for people to understand, but that's what I go to.
That's great. I love it. Good job, husband.
Right, he's in the shower now. You didn't get to hear me talk about it, but
What else do people usually want to know?
I think one of the things that with my family that's been effective is just letting them know that there are no side effects.
Good. Yeah, you know, a lot of people are afraid of side effects because even in herbs and vitamins and such, there can be, you know, it might upset your stomach. There could be a side effect, right? And so I would want to know that there's no side effects before I'm going to take something. It's good.
all of my friends want to know if they can take it pregnant, nursing,
Yep.
or their babies.
Yep.
And I've done all three. So I say, yes.
Yep. Perfect.
Go take it.
Safe and effective for all ages and stages. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
What else might people want to know?
I think one of the things too is that it's been around forever, and it's not some new, wacky, hippie thing.
Yep.
It's been around forever, and it's widely used in Europe and the UK and India and other countries. I know that helps a lot. When I explain some of the history really briefly, they're like, "Oh, this isn't just some new thing you're doing, Sarah Beth."
Yeah, some new thing since COVID that just came out. Yep, it's good.
Can I just say one quick thing?
Yeah.
Because you said, and it made me laugh so hard. Do you watch, have any, you guys watch Little Women? Like the 1994 Little Women?
No.
Melissa, you have to go watch it.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, I grew up watching that movie and it's so good. It's like during the Civil War times. It's a story of a family that have 4 daughters and their dad, sorry, my computer's about to, they talk about just the family during the war. And the mom treats her kids, well, her daughters, who are all teenagers or young adults, at home. And one of the daughters gets really sick, and the mom isn't home, and the older sisters are flipping through a repertory. And they're like, "She looks like Belladonna." And I was like, oh! I got so excited.
Wow, that is very cool.
Yeah, I got so excited. I just made my husband watch it for the first time all the way through, and I had never caught that before because I wasn't as in homeopathy before. And when I caught that, I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's awesome!"
I love it. So
has been. It's been around for a long time.
Yeah, I really do need to go watch that. I absolutely love shows set in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and so Little House on the Prairie I've been watching all of my life. And there's one episode where the girls want to raise money to buy their pastor a Bible, and they see something in the paper and they purchase a homeopathy kit or some homeopathic medicines, and they go around and start trying to sell them, and the whole show makes it look to be quackery. The whole thing makes it look to be just this big joke. Yep. And so that was disappointing. And then the same thing with When Calls the Heart. I watch When Calls the Heart all the time. I love how beautiful everything and everybody is in that show. And they did something like that where the guy comes through. They didn't use the word homeopathy, but he comes through selling his whatever, his alternative medicine, and it's just a big fat joke, and they make it sound terrible. I know. So I'm excited to know there's a show that actually shows what it really used to be.
Maybe you watch the older one. So there's like a newer one that just came out in the last 2 years or so. I don't like that one as much. I'm sold on the one that's from the early 90s with like Winona Ryder.
Okay.
It's so good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, that's so fun. I was so disappointed when I saw my Little House on the Prairie, do that. All right. So also something else that people will want to know is, will it interact or interfere with my medications that I'm already taking? So my elevator speech is, homeopathy is its own system of medicine that's been around for over 200 years. It is separate from and different than herbs, vitamins, essential oils, because a lot of people lump those things together. They think, sometimes when you say homeopathy, people think all of those things. So I make sure they understand it's a separate system of medicine that does not include those things. And it actually uproots conditions rather than suppressing conditions. So, and I kind of read the person's face. Do I need to explain what I just said? Or do they understand what I mean by suppression? And also, I like to throw in there that it is inexpensive, easily attained. Anybody can purchase it, and anybody can learn how to use it. You don't have to rely on a doctor or a naturopath or a homeopath even to treat yourself and your family. I also like to say that it brings a gentle and natural cure or help to your condition. Sometimes people need to hear that it's not about covering up the symptoms. It's not about making you feel better until you can whatever. So let me give the example. The last class that I just taught, we were talking about chamomilla, and often when these children who need chamomilla, they're angry and mad and screaming and they're pitching a fit, and you can't get them to take a remedy. So while they need chamomilla to help them calm down right then, you can't get it in them because they're mad. So I gave them some suggestions on a little spray bottle or whatever. Make it fun. Maybe they'll do it themselves. But also, after they're finished and they calm down, if you could still give them the remedy, the remedy is actually retraining the brain so that in the future they'll have fewer of these fits. They'll be shorter in duration, less severe, and eventually they won't have any at all, because homeopathy is not just there for the current symptoms. We're not just giving a remedy to calm the child down. We're giving the remedy to remind the body what to do. We don't have to act this way. We don't have to lose our entire minds because we didn't get a cookie. We can be upset and we can be angry and we can talk about it, we can be calm about it, so that comes in time, and you can still give the remedy after they've calmed down, because we're not going after shutting down the current problem. That's not the only point. It can do that, but that's not the whole thing. There are lots of places to buy homeopathic remedies. We have lots of pharmacies, both in the US and the UK, and online. So, and your local stores. So know the stores that are in your area that sell remedies. Every time I go to Earth Fair, I look at the remedy section. And it used to be huge. It used to be like a wall of remedies. And over the last couple of years, it's slowly dwindled. And for the past 6 months or more, I'll go in and I'll see like 3. Just random bottles.
I want to say something about that, because I've been noticing that over the past, I would even just say 6 months. It's been like it's harder to find them anywhere physically.
Yep.
I have, like, my mother, I was helping her in Ohio. She's like, oh, I'll just run to, I guess it was Whole Foods, or they have Fresh Time there. And it used to be a plethora. That's partly how I got accidentally kind of introduced me. Like, let's try this with my son, teething children. Let's try this. And it's becoming really difficult to find even 30s at the stores where they used, like you're saying, they used to have walls of the remedies. It's creepy.
Yeah.
It's really creepy.
Yeah. Well, last time I went into Earth Fair, it was just a few weeks ago, they had this display of oleos, or oleos, however you say that one. So boron was gone, but oleos was there. And I was like, oh, well, okay. Well, at least they're trying to, there's a little bit more. My friend is in New York right now. New York City. She sent me many pictures. The pharmacies there are stocked. Walls of homeopathic, the singles, tons of all of the combos. I was like, in New York? And we don't here have any remedies on our shelves? What in the world? So Vitamin Shop used to be huge. Publix, we used to have remedies in our Publix, Earth Fair, Whole Foods, and those have all kind of dwindled. So we have some other small local pharmacies in my area that you can get remedies in. But this is why you need a kit. So you have what you need on hand. And then if you have to order online, then know where you can order and get it fast, and not Amazon. Amazon's no good. So, and not because of who they are and what they do, but because of how they don't send the right remedy, or they put their label on top, or we also don't know how they store or handle their remedies. So be ready. And then if you have to order, know where. TaprootsVA.com, I think that you can call them and say, can you overnight it?
So I was just going to mention that, Melissa, because actually, if you guys can see, we've got a huge shipment from Taproots behind me. My husband just opened the box. I think I called her on, what's day today? I called on Friday. right before, like, they were, because they're in Virginia and they were about to get a winter storm. And I talked to Carolyn Friday afternoon, left her a message. Actually, she called me back. She was so great. I ordered a bunch of refills for my kit, and
Nice.
then some like larger bottles of stuff that we use more often in our house. And I literally talked to her like 5 p.m., 5:30 maybe even. She took it to the post office that night, and I got it on Sunday. And I live in Charleston. So
Wow.
it went from Virginia to Charleston in 2 days.
Very cool.
I was just like so thrilled. And they take HSA cards there. I don't know if that matters to anybody else, but that was a big thing for us. We have an HSA savings account through Chase's work, and we never really use it outside of when we have babies because we don't really like the regular medical system. So I was thrilled that she took it. She was so sweet. She like very personally addressed it to my name and wrote Happy New Year's on the card and all sweet stuff. So highly recommend using them.
Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. Yep. I think you have to call them though. So, but you can do that.